This is the Far North Coast Rugby Union podcast brought to you by Mark Goff Media Sports and Coopers. As usual, I'm Graham Cook and here with the Far North Coast Rugby Union Admin Officer, Wayne Mullane. How are we, Wayne?
Good, thank you, Graham. Yourself?
Oh, not bad, not bad. We all had a pretty busy weekend last weekend.
Yeah, I believe you had a very good, busy weekend at Tamworth, and I was down at Concord with the 18. So you were with the women's and the
Women's and the Opens.
Opens men. Yeah.
So Far North Coast Rugby. So, of course, there was no local rugby here last weekend. It was our representative weekend for Country Week in the Opens and Women's, and the State Junior Championships and Country Championships for the junior age groups, under 18 and below. Lots of different venues, teams everywhere, referees everywhere, coaches, officials, physios, you name it. A very, very busy weekend for people throughout New South Wales. Thoroughly enjoyable time was had by everybody from what I can gather, and some good results, even though we didn't quite manage to bring home the first place at any of the carnivals.
No, we didn't. But on the way down, I got notification that the under-12s was postponed, and I rang people while I was on the bus, and they're going, "Oh, we're already down here." They blew a lot of people, a few $1,000s, getting their boy down there or their whoever, and their parents and accommodation and whatever.
So the state under-12s was at Camden, I believe, is that correct?
The clubhouse was flooded, the ground was underwater.
Apparently, so absolutely torrential weather in Sydney. Yep. There was just no way that game could be played. And unfortunately, with the other rugby being played at lots of other venues around Sydney, there were no grounds available to transfer the under-12s to, so that had to be cancelled to be played at a later date.
Yeah, so, and at Concord, where I went for the under-18 boys and girls, the girls were transferred over to Woollahra Oval on the synthetic pitch, and we were very, very lucky. At 6 o'clock on Saturday morning, it was cancelled, and then Andrew Hutton from New South Wales Juniors, he went into negotiation with the council. So on Saturday and Sunday, they're all uncontested scrums,
right? All
the under-18 games, and we played contested scrums on the Monday. So we only had one game. So it was very wet underfoot, especially on the field 2. Field 3 wasn't bad, and St Luke's North was in very good condition. Right. So they were trying to save that for the final should they have to. Well, they rather use the others because they're more amenities, and they've had cameramen on rooftops. So it was a lot better. But, it was fine the whole weekend. We were down there, didn't rain at all. A bit overnight on the Saturday night in the accommodation, but good rugby all the way across.
So went ahead, the weather fined up, grounds dried out a little bit, and able to play some good rugby.
Yeah, well, Dave Graham said it at Coffs Harbour, there's not a drop of rain. It was perfect.
Oh, wow.
Everything was fine there.
So Coffs Harbour was the under-16s?
Yeah, 16 boys and girls. It was very, very cold at Orange, I believe, the 13s. And
Tamworth was a little chilly for the country Opens and Women's.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
The brisk mornings, sort of left Lismore in shorts and T-shirt, got up to Armidale and put on trousers and jumper, and it was 7 degrees going. I haven't had that sort of temperature for a very long time.
Yeah, it was cool in Sydney. Yeah, it was.
But
we're at Lane Cove, right. Discovery Park there. Yeah.
So Tamworth was a very good carnival, played on 2 fields. Both the women's and the Opens played well. Opens in particular would be looking at it going, if we'd just taken a couple of opportunities, we could have got all the way through to the final, and then you never know in finals.
Yeah, if they'd have won that game against Central Coast,
yes.
And I got back and I said to Jeff, Christ, they're up 14-0. It's half time. Let's go. We watched it.
Up 14-0 and deservedly so. They were the better team. Both zones were quite adamant that Far North Coast blew that. They should have won it. As it turned out, Central Coast did win it, went on into the final and won the final. Far North Coast boys were a little bit upset about that, but they only had themselves to blame. They were unable to execute at key moments. Just a few decisions, execution, and just couldn't hold them out long enough to hang on for the win, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, their 10 stood up. Dunkett, whatever his name is, and he was a point scorer.
So look, a very good weekend though. The women were a lot better than they were the previous year. I think the extra experience, for a lot of the players really helped. They did get beaten by a score each time, but they managed to get a try from what I recall.
Yeah, Zali Wheeler.
Which was great.
She picked up a try.
And look, they seemed all very positive. Again, the Opens and the Women's had a huge amount of injuries, which made it a real problem. But look, they stuck at it. They played all their last game as well when they were down to, I think it was 14 players. Was very, very proud of them. The Women and the Opens was extremely proud to be a zone representative out at Country Week. They all went extremely well. Now, how did your 18s go?
Yeah, we got Newcastle Hunter first round down there, and we had our opportunities in that game. It was, I think, 7-all at one stage. Went 14-7 at half time. I think we got one or two in the bin because they were very harsh on the high tackle, but always seemed to miss the Newcastle one.
And now.
Oh, and they were blatant too, you know. And Jeff doesn't say much about refs. He's going, whoa. Anyway, he went to speak to him after the game. 15 minutes cool-off period. You know, he was quite. Anyway.
Jeff would know that.
So it was, and then our blokes sort of dropped the bundle a bit. They made a few mistakes, and they lost that one 28-7. So that put them on the back foot. The next game was level, and they gave a penalty away to lose it. And they had heaps of opportunities in that. I think that was against Mid-North Coast. I think they lost 7-5 or something like that. Or what it was 8-5.
A close game of the game they could have won.
Oh yeah, should have.
Yeah.
And then who did we play last? I can't remember. And anyway, got us through to the bowl quarter final against Manly.
Okay.
And I'd watched Manly in their last game, and they finished bottom of the Sydney teams in their comp, and we just crossed over to play them, and we're up. Oh no, it was 5-all. They scored first, we scored, and missed the conversion, fairly adjacent, but we should have gone 7-5, and then we gave a penalty virtually right on full time, and the Manly bloke hadn't kicked the goal. I watched him. He missed 2 penalty goals during that game and missed a conversion.
No, the one that mattered.
It was the hardest kick he's tried, and he slotted it. So we lost 8-5. So they all got on the bus and buggered off. So I think they went on to play someone, and the other team won in that anyway. So so it was a bit disappointing. The boys tried their hardest. We had a few injuries. We were down. We might have only had 3 on the bench in the end. We only went down with 23 players. A couple of blokes got injured and pulled out. So, yeah, no, it was fun. Got to know a few different blokes and young kids, and we had a good time. They were well behaved and really good. So it was great.
And the other junior age groups, the players sort of fronted up at times, but then those lapses in concentration cost the team some wins, which then put them out of going for the big games, unfortunately. But all in all, from what I can gather from the coaches and whatever we've had feedback from, a very positive weekend all round for the country.
Yeah, no, it was very good. Dave Graham was very happy with the 16s down there in some regards because they lost games they should have won just by a couple of points and here and there, and could have been in the final as well. And Mid-North Coast went on to win that there.
Yes.
So,
which was
good,
great.
Good for Mid-North Coast.
For country rugby, for Mid-North Coast to take out the state under-16 title, that's
oh, well, they
achievement.
did the country one. Did they win the state? I'm not sure. They definitely won the country part
one.
of it.
Yes, yep. So, okay, we're just going to take an ad break here for a moment, folks. We'll be back with you shortly.
Roll on, roll on. I've been rolling round and round. Roll on, roll on. I've been rolling round and round. Round and round it goes. Rolling round and round. I've been rolling round and round. Keep on rolling on.
Okay, so that's all but wrapping up our country commitments last weekend, but just one little thing, fairly important one. At Tamworth in the Zone Opens team, there was a player injured in their final match, received treatment at the ground, was then taken by ambulance to hospital. where he was in a very poor condition. From there, he was taken down to Sydney Hospital and had surgery.
No, it was John Hunter.
John Hunter, yes. Yeah, it was
In
John
Newcastle.
Hunter at Newcastle. He has had some really good news, Wayne has told me today, so you just want to pass that on to everybody?
Yeah, I had a phone call from Ben Carroll this afternoon.
Who's the zone president?
I just said to him, just keep it amongst yourself until, I can be told later on. I don't need to know straight away. So they've been very, with what's going on. So if I had 2 phone calls a day from TV, and I thought they were ringing about that, but it wasn't. It was some other matter. So I was happy not to know anything. But no, he's been taken off. He was in an induced coma.
Yes.
And he was brought out of that, and he's speaking. And some people are saying it's a miracle. They thought it wasn't going to be such a good outcome. And Wilson Lobacaro is down there, one of his Fijian mates that plays for Ballina. So he's talking. They've let him go into ICU. And his partner Philippa's down there with him. I believe his parents are en route from Fiji to come out. So it's
so a very unfortunate position. It's not something we'd ever want any player to be in, particularly one from our zone that we know so well. But at this stage, the prognosis is a lot better than what it was 48 hours ago. As I said, he's now talking, receiving care. Looks like he's going to be coming out of the ICU, which is further good news. So look, our thoughts are with him, his friends and family. But it's looking quite good at this stage. There'll be a long road ahead with recovery, but very positive news. And thank you very much, Wayne, for updating us on that.
Yeah, all the players. There was a thing at Wallingbar Club last night with Joey DeDassel up from mid-North Coast with some counsellors to talk to the fellas out there. All the players a bit down, so hopefully they're all with this news.
Just pick everybody up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So that wraps up last weekend. On a positive note, we have a full round of rugby in juniors and seniors this weekend.
Yeah, juniors and seniors.
Okay. So our senior rugby. Shall we start? Actually, where I'm going to be down at Yamba. There's 4 grades from what I recall.
Yeah, we've got Casuarina going down there with a few grades.
Okay. Casuarina play Casino in first grade.
Yes, and Casuarina play Yamba in seconds.
Okay.
Is it Casino's women they're playing down there?
Yes, yeah.
And the 18s are playing as well.
So a big day of rugby at Yamba.
Yeah, Casuarina's 18s.
Yep.
And
so
they're a bit dirty. I believe some of them are going down there 2 weeks in a row. So I don't know how that works out. But
so the rugby starts in Yamba at 11:30. So if you're around the Yamba area, look, if you enjoy rugby, I think it's going to be some pretty good games of footy being played there. So it starts at 11:30. First grade will kick off at 3:15.
Yes.
So a big day, big afternoon of rugby. So anybody around the Yamba area, by all means, come along. It'll be really good. We have other matches.
Lennox Head are at home to Wallingbar.
Okay, Lennox Head and Wallingbar. That historically has been a big matchup. Happened to do them in the earlier round with Wallingbar at home to Lennox, where Wallingbar played some very impressive football, and Lennox had a few players out, was still sort of finding their feet, have played a lot better since then in a couple of games since then. So I think this match down at Lennox versus Wallingbar will be very good.
You've got to restart. It's a different game, totally different game.
This week after Country Week is often a bit of a tester for teams that might be flying and other teams that haven't had the players away with commitments can perhaps step up a little bit more.
They've both had a couple of players away. So.
Okay, so that should be fairly even. Yeah. We have, I think it's Lismore at home to the Byronshire Rebels.
Yeah, Byronshire Rebels, I've heard, got at least one bloke that's got a bit of an injury and won't be playing for a while. I think they're number 8, Benji Clark's out, I think.
Yes, I saw a few walking wounded actually out there at Country Week. Some players got some fairly big injuries, unfortunately.
Yeah, so Lismore and Byron, that'd be 3 grades there.
Okay, well, that's great.
With
and
the women.
Of course.
I think there's a Colts game there too.
Okay, so it's going to be 3 or 4 grades at Lismore?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a visiting referee in the zone with our referee exchange with Barappa Bush in New Zealand. He'll be doing that Lismore versus Byronshire Rebels match, being Chris Jeffries from Barappa Bush. So get along and see someone a bit different, a slightly different way of looking at things. I think the players and everybody there will actually enjoy that experience. I know he will. He's really looking forward to it. Other rounds, other games.
Ballina and SCU Gold Rats at Albie Park
So Ballina
Abilos
versus
Field.
Uni down at Brunswick Heads.
Brunswick Heads.
Okay, and then Mullumbimby play Ballina.
Balmain seconds, yeah.
Second grade. Okay, so two matches at Brunswick Heads. Ballina in first grade and second grade. Uni in first grade and Mullumbimby in the second grade match.
Yeah. And then out at Range are home for their first home game.
Okay.
At Malangani, because they've played home games but at Kyogle.
Yes, they have.
So
Yes,
they've
they
got
two out there, yeah.
Evans River out at
Malangani.
Malangani.
Range and Evans, they usually have a really good, strong, hard tussle, those two. So for the first game at home for Malangani, I would think they'd be very much looking forward to that. It'll be a great occasion.
Who's in second grade out there?
Okay, so they've got two grades. Kyogle playing somebody out there as well. Kyogle and Evans.
Kyogle have got a bye.
Right.
Casino got the bye in seconds. There's a few teams with bye. Evans River have got the bye. So
Okay.
it's just a one game out there
Okay.
at Malangani.
Look forward to it, folks. Again, they tend to get a good crowd out there. It's a good atmosphere.
Oh yeah, it is. It is good.
so
I'm thinking of going out for one of their last rounds with the Goat's Head Cup against Balmain. That should
Yes.
be a big day. That's the one I'm thinking of going.
Now
out
they've
for.
found the Goat's Head Cup again.
Yes.
Okay, we've got any other matters you think we need to bring up at this stage?
No, just everyone hopefully enjoys their rugby and all the players that have been affected by the injury to Ben. Hope they're all feeling better with the news.
Yes, hopefully that's a big
him.
positive. Actually, one thing we did fail to mention earlier was, of course, the match officials, both on-field and off-field, that went away to the various country carnivals. Matt Clayton and I were out at Tamworth. We were refereeing, ARing, doing some mentoring and coaching. A very busy weekend, thoroughly enjoyable. Probably the highlight performance-wise was Will Barnes and Lachlan Dooley at the under-16s.
Yeah, they were down at Coffs Harbour.
Coffs Harbour, yep.
With Steve Miller.
Steve Miller, Mick Molino and Evelyn George. The country boys final was done by Will Barnes. The country girls final was done by Lachlan Dooley. So congratulations to the both. That's an incredible achievement.
That's good. I didn't even know Will got one. So that's good.
And then Lachlan Dooley went on and did a state semi-final as well, and then ran touch in the state boys final, from what I recall. So he had an exceptional tournament from what I've been informed. So fantastic. But basically the referees from the zone, be the on or off field, performed very highly throughout all the tournaments around, and congratulations, folks. That's very, very well done.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
Okay, so I think we're going to wrap that up for this week. Just on the positive note, where the injured player is a lot better. Looking forward to more positive news. We'll bring to you as each and every week if we get more information that's worth sharing. But thank you very much for everybody that's joined us again today. We like doing these. We'd love more information if you've got things you'd like us to spread around.
Yeah, any old boy day games and anything like that you've got planned, just let us know and we'll promote it for you guys.
Okay, so thank you very much on behalf of Wayne and I.
And Coopers.
Mark Goff Media Sports. Thank you once again, and we'll see you again next week.
Roll on, roll